I'm Katie Jacobs, and I watched the movie A Beautiful Mind. This movie is about John Nash, the main character. He had schizophrenia. His illness began in 1959 at the age of 30, which is past the typical diagnosis window of this day and age. Schizophrenia was a wastebasket disease. They would diagnose patients without really testing them, so his disease was not as uncommon in this time. His symptoms were paranoid delusions, grandiosity, and disturbed perceptions. These symptoms portray this disease well, even though nowadays there are more accurate and better tests to see exactly what disease you have. A resource I found interesting is called A Beautiful Mind, What Did John Nash Actually Have by Edward Shorter. He states that every patient that were having transverse relationships were labeled as schizophrenic. Some doctors and psychologists in research now state that it could have been early dementia, because you never really know. John Nash was admitted to the New Jersey State Hospital of Trenton. Through the next 9 years after that, he went to psychiatric hospitals where he got insulin shock therapy, which his wife, Alicia, hated. John's wife was pregnant during this time, which made it even harder for her being pregnant. According to the American Journal Online by Franny Halpern, from 1936 to March 1939, 60 cases of schizophrenia were treated, and 56 of them completed the shock therapy. So it really does help, or did in the time. In this movie, John Nash's wife was really strong and was always there for him, always visiting him. Once he got out of the hospital and their baby was born, John stopped taking his pills and would hide them in a drawer. Alicia didn't know this until he almost drowned the baby in the bathtub, which was very scary for her and in such shock. Nash had supportive colleagues who helped him find jobs where people were protective of him, and a wife who cared for him and took care of her into her house even after the couple divorced, which may have prevented him from becoming homeless, is what Life Science says. This says a lot about her and how much she really cared for her even after the divorce. She didn't just dump him off. Overall, having a kind of a disease has got to be so hard, but having support for your loved one makes it that much easier. I would never choose to have an illness or for my family or kids to have an illness, but if I did, or my kids or family did, I believe that God planned it and that everything will be all right. So that was about A Beautiful Mind, the movie.